My name is Kevin Skywarner. I'm writer and creator of Stonewall, the musical, an unapologetic musical that takes place between now, our current era of 2020, and June 1969. In the early morning hours of June 28th, 1969, Detective Seymour Pine and other white officers led a raid on the Stonewall Inn. This was after years and years of repeated bar raids that were legal, because in the state of New York, if you were gay, you couldn't get a liquor license. So all the bars were operating illegally. So of course, the police decided to attack the little fairies. They didn't understand. They didn't see the humanity in these poor, homeless, black and brown youth. They were white as well. Of course, now, hopefully, we all know, due to this pandemic, that whenever things affect whites, let's slide that scale right down. And that's what people of color get. Always the short end of the stick. So, somehow, some way, that night was different than all other nights, because the people who were at the Stonewall Inn, you had your butch lesbians, you had your drag queens, you had your feminine gay men, you had black and brown and white people all mixed together. It was the tipping point. They just had enough. Remember, back then, you could be fired for being gay. That just passed in 2020. Thank you to the brave people who stepped forward. Your name was printed in the paper. Homosexual. Pervert. Good luck getting a job. Good luck finding love. What you are was banned. Who you are is banned. You are illegal. People took great risk to go to the Stonewall Inn. Just like people take great risk to transition, to be their true selves now. And yes, some people, it is very easy. Go to the doctor, go get hormones, get a surgery, and done. You can become a man who was born a woman, and you can become a woman who was born a man. I myself am one of the lucky ones. The worst that I had to deal with when I was growing up was, unfortunately, mainly at the hands of African Americans. Not to say that white people were excluded from that. Oh, they played their part. But my experience was, unfortunately, African Americans. And I tried to express this in a way, and I was referred to as a racist. And I own that part of that can come across as racist. I own that as a white person, as a person with white privilege. At the same time, they needed to own, and maybe they do, they need to own that even though they are black, there is still privilege that they have over me. Cisgender privilege. They had the luxury of not having to think about telling their truth. You don't have to come out when you're black. Written on your face. I am proud to see strong black people being proud of their blackness. I love that. And I'm not perfect. I've made mistakes. I own up to them. I try to work for a better tomorrow for all of us. When I was a little kid, I learned about slavery before the Holocaust. And I remember thinking, why would people do this to other people? These are human beings. And I remember crying as a little kid, wishing that I could be black. I had extreme white guilt, and I came out at a very young age. I was very aware. At a very young age, I got the impression that Republicans don't like me. I got the impression that Republicans are Nazi adjacent. Unfortunately, thanks to Trump, I was proven right. I don't like being right about racism. And so when I see the image of George Floyd being executed by people who are supposed to protect and serve, not punish and subdue. I woke up with terrors of a movie that I can't turn off. The remote is broken. The channel will not change. Like a movie that I'm trapped in and I can't get out of. And it just kept happening. After Breonna Taylor, Ahmaud Arbery, George Floyd, Tony McDade. I can't breathe. I can't breathe. I can't breathe. Please let us find peace. Please let us find joy. Please let us be around for each other in the world. Let us come together. We can beat this together. We can find joy forever if we just believe. Power, pride, power, pride, power, pride. This is the last night of Pride Month, but this is not the last night of the Stonewall riots 51 years ago. Those riots that started after George Floyd was murdered are still happening. People are still taking to the streets, and that gives me hope. That gives me hope and inspiration for the future. That we can make it. We can pay it no mind. Let the small-minded think they have their way. Then fight! Fight! Fight the good fight and win the day. Happy Power Pride. We have the power to change the world if we can find the courage. Happy Power Pride. And may the memory of Stonewall live on. In the shirt I am wearing, some of us need more help than others. And that is not something to be ashamed of. Let your freak flag fly. Let your freak flag wave. Never take it down, never take it down. Raise it way up high. If you're someone that is watching this, that is transgender, and needs a place to call to be okay, take a good look at my shirt. Fight for trans lives. Trans Lifeline. We demand justice. We demand peace. We demand justice. We demand peace. Fire in the street, fire in the crowd, our rage growing loud.